What's up, everybody? Welcome to tonight's episode of the Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast. I am joined tonight by two special guests. The man to my left here, the one, the only Mike Caldwell, and joining us from his secret location, which I think is his house, but I'm not sure. The one, the only Rick Elzy. Guys, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Any better, I'd be twins.
I'm feeling drunk with power.
Well done, sir. Well done. So you notice I don't have my usual jump and go, and that's going to come back to me during the show, I'm sure. But we're going to start on a little bit of a somber note. Of course, today we found out about the passing of Hulk Hogan. 2 days ago, WWE Hall of Famer Ozzy Osbourne. And I mean, it's been a rough week. It's been a rough week for wrestling. It's been a rough week for wrestling fans. So to start the show, I would like to ask all of you to join us in a moment of remembrance for Hulk Hogan and Ozzy Osbourne. That 10 bell gets you every time. That's rough. But you know what? As is with wrestling, the show must go on, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Before we get too deep into things, of course, I do want to give out our thank yous. Thank you to Ross and the boys from Labor 12 for our intro-outro music. Track's called Head Rush, album's called Monsters, and they have all sorts of cool stuff going on. You need to go check out what they're doing. You can see everything that's going on for the making of their second album at labor12.com. That's laborxii.com. Thank you to Joe and American Legacy for our Not Your Average merch. Hats, beanies, skull caps, bandanas, we got it all. Thank you to J-Rebs 3D Printing for our little piece of awesomeness over here. I'll find it in a minute. For that little piece of awesomeness right there. If you've got a logo, something you want 3D printed, something you want to be in a light box like that, get with Cameron. He makes things happen, like really cool things. So check out jrebs3dprinting.com. Thank you to heckyeahradio.com for putting a little button on their website for Not Your Average Mark. If you should happen to miss our live podcast, shame on you. I'm telling Santa. But since it happens from time to time, we'll go ahead and give you the chance to catch the audio version of it by going to heckyeahradio.com, clicking on Not Your Average Mark button. Thank you to Blind Ambition Studios for our awesome graphics, thewrestlingsociety.com for putting us in their podcast room, and of course, the one that makes everything work, the guy that keeps it all together, the one that only the guy, Patrick. Thank you for what you do. Want to get an idea of what he does? Go check out our website, www.notyouraverage.mark.com. We've got all sorts of cool stuff there. Or you can join us Monday nights, Friday nights, and on all the PLEs on our Discord, which you can find in the About section of any of our socials. We do watch-alongs for Raw. We do watch-alongs for SmackDown. We do watch-alongs for the PLEs. It's a good time. Both of these guys join us every time we do it, and it's just a lot of fun. So if you haven't had the opportunity yet, head over to Discord, join our Discord, a couple of quick questions, and you're in, and watch along with us. We'd love to have you. So let's get started into some wrestling.
Let's do this.
We're going to start with our main roster moments. We'll go with SmackDown. So we start SmackDown with a car wreck in San Antonio. I know that never happens, right? We get the car accident outside. You see Solo Sikoa. You see the MFTs. You see BFAB in the background. So everybody's trying to figure out what's going on. And there's some really, buff-looking police officers that I don't know how they're training them in San Antonio, but they're pretty big police officers that are trying to figure out and make sense of what's happened. So we go from that to our first match, and the setup for the match was great. Okay. You've got Charlotte, you've got Alexa, their whole frenemies thing. I'm loving every bit of it. And Alexa comes out. She's like, I know we didn't win. We're going to go our separate ways. And Charlotte's like, no, I got us a match for the titles. We're on here in a minute. And Alexa's like, wait, what? What's your game here? So we're going to get that title match at SummerSlam. But tonight on SmackDown, we're going to get Charlotte versus Raquel. And I'm already expecting this to be a pretty good match because both of them are good in the ring. It was a good match. All in all, the cheerleader thing. Alexa Bliss coming out as a cheerleader. So some of us thought it was awesome. Some of us had fantasies fulfilled. It was a whole thing. Like, just, it is what it is, you know? It was cool to see. She had the black pom-poms and ended up hitting Raquel with one of them at one point. It was good. Beyond the match itself being good, they did a good job outside of the ring of setting up tomorrow night's match, which is going to be Alexa Bliss versus Roxanne Perez. And I think it was really nice the way they did that. So let me turn that over to you, gentlemen. What did y'all think?
Personally, I thought it was a good showing. It's really interesting to see that when Raquel is not the biggest thing in the ring,
Yeah.
Charlotte and her kind of pretty close match. I mean, Raquel's still got her by a little bit, but it's not as drastic as it normally is.
Very true. Rick, what do you got?
I thought that the match was good. I like all four of these girls. They're fun. I have been a fan of Raquel for a long time, and I would really like for her to get more. And I know she's had the injury issue. She's had her skin issues. She's had a lot of things that have derailed her at different times. I would really like to see her out of a tag team and with a singles run, with a championship or something. I just feel like she has so much of a higher ceiling than a tag team. And I don't hate the story that they're telling right now. It's fun. But every time I see Raquel have matches like this, I feel like she could do so much more. And I just keep waiting for that more.
Well, I think that once we get to the point where we have Liv Morgan back, it's going to be a Roxanne Perez, Liv Morgan battle, and that's going to leave everything open so Raquel can pursue something in singles competition.
I'd love that. I really, really would.
I can definitely see that happening. Before we go any further, I do want to look over and say what's up to everybody over in the chat. We've got Mary Youngblood. We've got Aaron Marie, Janine Wade. What else we got? We got Camino in the house. That's always a party. Jello makes it in. And what do we got? Everybody a little upset about the loss of Hogan. Jello making a good point. We also lost a great musician today in Chuck Mangione. His album Feels So Good is the best-selling jazz album of all time. He brought up something that was said during the exchange between Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. Charlotte said, just because I'm part of a tag team doesn't mean I'm not Charlotte Flair. And I like that. Alexa's new nickname is the Fear Leader. I dig it.
Mm-hmm.
I dig it. The Fear Leader.
That's cute. That's cute.
Oh, and I can't forget Orion's watching also. So what's up, Orion? So we get Jacob Fatu being escorted away by police for questioning. It was at this moment that all I heard in my head was, I did it for The Rock. That, like, if there is not in this storyline at least some reference to Rikishi, it doesn't have to be Rikishi did it. If there's not at least like Jacob going, Dad, or going, have you talked to your dad? Like, did he do this? Like if there's not some reference to Rikishi in this, I'm gonna be pissed because it just fits so well. So after he gets escorted off by the unusually large police officers, we get Damian Priest, and Mello stops him and says, "I told you this was going to happen. You didn't want to listen. I told you." And so Damian's like, "Well, why don't you come tell me in the ring?" Because that's what Damian Priest does. So we get a match, and it was a good match. Like, I was iffy about Carmelo Hayes going to the main roster just because I didn't know if his style would fit in as well in the group, or if he was just going to be, delegated to mid card, or like what was going to happen with Mello. But this is the kind of match that shows me that was a good decision. Of course, they went to a no contest because Aleister Black showed up and took care of business. So it did a good job of moving storylines, in my opinion.
I love Carmelo Hayes, and I'm glad that he's there. And I think that he's a great example, along with Karrion Kross and several others, that you can put somebody in the mid card. You can associate them with acts that are higher on the card. You can even have them lose the majority of their matches. As long as you keep us visually stimulated and entertained verbally, those characters will resonate. And it's not like, they're losing every week. They're not being buried. They're not there every week and they're not winning all the time. But I think that he's just one of those that you look at, man, they know what they're doing. They're taking their time, and he's getting over.
Oh, absolutely.
This is a perfect example with Mello, is the fact that you can get over without going over.
Yeah. And that's an art form that seems to have been lost to a whole lot of people. Because the first time you hear somebody lose, oh, they're burying him. He's not over anymore. No.
Well, we know those
over.
people when people say that, when those words come out of somebody's mouth, you know right away that person knows nothing about this business.
Oh, 100%. So after we get this awesome match, Solo Sikoa comes out and just goes to talking trash. I tried to help Jacob. I gave him everything. I gave him gold. I gave him a family. No, he doesn't deserve any of it. He's reckless. That's why you see what you saw today. Adam Pearce comes out and says, before Adam Pearce comes out, screen changes, and guess who's there? That'd be Jacob Fatu, and being welcomed back to the arena by Jimmy Uso.
Mm-hmm.
And so they make their way to the ring and raise hell like only they can. And then Adam Pearce has Solo picked up by the cops. What I would like to say about Jacob coming back was, did you notice the rather large, an unusually large officer that said, "We reviewed the footage and have determined that you were not a part of this," immediately took like 3 steps back.
Which, do you blame him? Anybody with a badge comes up to Jacob Fatu, they should take those couple of steps back. Because, he don't necessarily stand on the right side of the law sometimes. And that's one of the reasons why he is the way he is in WWE, is he gets to beat people up and he gets paid for it.
And he doesn't go to jail for it.
Exactly.
What were you going to say, Rick?
I just think that whether it's real life or whether it's a wrestling storyline, I think the one thing that we can take away from the Fatu clan is that cars are not their friend.
No, they're not.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, so in the midst of all of this, Jacob coming back, Solo getting picked up by the cops, Adam Pearce comes out and says, "You know what? It's official that you two don't like each other. It's official that you two want to fight each other. It's official that the ring can't hold you. So SummerSlam, we're going for the belt. And it's going to be Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu in a steel cage."
if we do not get a Jacob Fatu promo about being inside, being
in
inside,
cell.
being inside, being behind bars, and once again, it's gonna be. I'm gonna have a sad day
I mean, I feel you on that.
because I think that's perfect promo material.
I'm
for this
just-
guy.
I'm just picturing Jacob Fatu getting in the cage, talking about bend the wire, bend the wire.
Put it on my commissary.
No, Leroy, I'm bilingual. There's a difference. Sorry. Johnny James joined in the chat. Johnny, what's up, man? Glad you're here. Says, was just mentioning the throwing of the drinks and trash into the ring when Hogan did what he did in '96. Epic Day NWO was born to Rick Elzy the other day. Nothing would be what it is without Hogan in the business we love daily. Epic moments still get talked about years and years later. Very true. Very, very true. OTB Lilith Blood in the chat as well. Lilith, what's up? Glad you could join us. I really loved how they set all that up. It was a good setup. Like this whole thing was. It's a fun setup, and we get a cage match out of it. I don't know whose idea it was to put a werewolf in a cage, but that never ends well. I don't think it's going to end well for Soto.
Okay, before we get to any other things, can we talk about the fact that Tala Tonga has the smallest head for a giant that I've ever seen in my entire life? He's doing the old poses and stuff like that, and with the figure that he has, he needs to have X-Pac down there as his mini-me.
I love it. I
I think it's his Muppet hair. That's all. He's got a head of Muppet hair, and I think it frames his head in a poor way.
Jello brings up a good point. Knowing there's going to be a cage at SummerSlam, do you think other matches could end up in a cage?
Why?
I mean, it's always possible that there could be an additional cage match. It's not very much like WWE, unless it's like the Hell in a Cell or the War Games, where they like to do a male and a female. I don't know that they really have a track record of doing multiple cage matches on the same show. So I would say it's unlikely.
We stick to the gimmick on one match, and then we go somewhere else afterwards.
True.
Yeah. I think Cornette calls it a hat. Cornette calls it a hat on a hat, right?
Yep, I've heard that more than once. So Stephanie Vaquer versus Alba Fire. Great match, but very short.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I am slowly but surely weeding the words filler match out of my vocabulary. But it did feel it felt like, okay, we need to get Stephanie on the card. So this is what we're going to do.
That's exactly what it was. It was, we need Stephanie on the show. We're going to have Stephanie on the show. We're going to get her out here. We're going to get a nice pop. We're going to have a quick semblance of a confrontation, and we're going to get out of it because they're not 3 hours anymore.
Yep, 2 hours. So things do seem a little rushed.
You're lucky she got what she got.
I mean, that's true. You are not wrong. Next match.
Fans can't ask for 2 hours and then complain because we didn't get a full match.
Didn't get 3 hours worth of content.
I honestly like the 2 hour format a little bit better. I feel like it flows a little bit smoother.
That's the promoter in you, though.
Silence. I mean, really, really and truly, less is more. And
can be if done right.
It doesn't have the points to where you got to fill 3 hours and got to be able to have all the necessary ins and outs for story moments and stuff like that. But everything goes the way it goes, and sometimes people don't get on the card because of it, and that's just the fact of life.
It's fair. So the next match we're going to talk about was probably match of the night for me. And that was the four-way tag match. You had Fraxium, Motor City Machine Guns, DIY, and Andrade and Ray Phoenix, all looking for their chance to get after the Wyatts. So, going into it with these four teams, you're going to get a good match. There's no way not to.
Mm-hmm.
And I said this about the women's matches last week, and I'll say it about this one. You have 8 people involved in this match. And the way that these guys went in and out of the ring, did the crazy tornado tags, everybody got a chance to shine, and it was seamless. It wasn't like, okay, you go over here and I'm gonna go over here, and we're gonna get 2 people in this corner and 2 people fighting over here and 2 people on the floor. In and out all the time. And move after move after move after move. They stepped on the gas when they started the match, and they never took their foot off of it. All gas, no brakes. You know what I mean? See, I make the Jacob Fatu reference, but seriously, it was this the whole damn match, and I loved it. I thought it was great.
Okay. I can't argue with you. I mean, it was a very good match. There was a lot of things that they did that were very seamless, and it made sense. But the biggest thing that I took away from it is the fact that we have Ray Phoenix and Andrade, and the chemistry between those two is really, really good. And I believe that they work really well together. And no internet whining community, we don't need to have Penta and Ray Phoenix together at all times. Let them breathe, let them do their thing elsewhere. And this is I'm enjoying this. I'm a fan of Andrade and Ray Phoenix.
This is the problem. They could have the kind of chemistry that cures assholism, and people are still going to complain that it's not Penta and Ray Phoenix. That's just, it is what it is. That people are still going to complain because that's what they're used to. That's what they want to see. But both of these guys are doing major things without being together. Why would you rush that? What do you think, Rick?
I love it. I think that tags are in good hands right now. There's no need to rush to the Lucha Brothers. That's something you can save. You got it in your back pocket. You can use it when you need it. I like the idea of Phoenix and Andrade for a while. It gives Andrade something to do. And Penta, let's be honest, Penta is super over right now as a singles. Why would you take that away from him? So
I don't see them, and understand, let me preface this with, I don't mean as a tag team. I don't see them in the same ring together until Survivor Series.
You think that quick?
I do. I think they'll end up in the same ring together. I think they'll get that glance that, we were a tag team, but now we're on other sides of things. So I don't know what we're going to end up with there.
I mean, like Rick was saying, why are they going to mess with the money? Penta's doing so good where he's at, and he is selling a ton of merchandise, and he's over.
Very.
So if it ain't broke,
don't fix it. So that leads us to the end of the show. Cody comes out to a huge pop because that's what happens. He comes out looking very dapper, very debonair, as only Cody Rhodes can. And he doesn't say nothing. Walks in, signs contract. Okay, let's go. John Cena makes his way out. Does not look very dapper, nor does he look debonair. And gets in the ring and says, okay, hold on. I got some bad news. Stealing Wade Barrett's shtick. You see, I'm shooting a movie, and I'm tired. long hours. I'm exhausted. I want to give the best that I can give, and I can't do that because I'm working a movie. So I'm not gonna be at SummerSlam. I'm sorry, Cody. Thank you for understanding. And Cody didn't understand. Cody was not happy, not even a little bit. And Adam Pearce is like, I don't even know what to do about this because he says, I've talked to like Peacock knows about it. Everybody knows, and I've talked to the upper man. I can't be there. Well, Cody decided that's not going to work. Beat the hell out of Cena, grabbed his hand, and used his hand to sign the contract. Contract signed, and it's going to be a street fight. P.S. By the way.
I like it, but I wish that we had more time between with Cody and John Cena, where we could have done this 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then that way we could have some sort of a deal where, John Cena doesn't actually have to take one of his appearances to do stuff. We could phone some stuff in and, talk about the fact that Cody made him sign the contract under duress and this and that and the other, and then it ends up coming out to an executive decision to where, okay, fine, John Cena, you're mandated to be there.
So, looking over at the chat, Camino's saying surprised Cena hasn't come back with saying that's forgery. Still a possibility because I feel like he's going to do the doctor's note thing. I got a doctor's note. You can't hit me. He's going to.
That's on the other show.
That's true, but I'm using that as an example. He's going to come back with some kind of, I didn't sign that. That was forgery. My hand was forced, literally. I could see something like that. And Janine saying Jelly and Randy were an amazing setup for that match. We're going to talk about that, but after we talk about Raw, because there's something I want to mention about that. All in all, SmackDown was good. Like it flowed well enough that it went by, like it didn't feel like 2 hours. And anytime you can have a show that doesn't feel like it's taken as long as it has, that's a good show. So, you know what? I'll give it an A.
Yeah, it left me with wanting more. So I would say it's in the neighborhood of an A anyway.
So that's going to take us into this last Monday night and Raw. We open the show with CM Punk, who gives the babyface promo, gets the cheap pop, as Mick used to say it, from, isn't it a great day to be alive and insert your city here? And talks about how I came here to get the gold and now I've got the opportunity, which enter the champion, Gunther. And both these guys have like massive egos. So getting them in the ring together, Gunther says there is no way you're going to beat me. We're both good, but you will never be the best in the world. Cheap shot. They did a good job building up for their SummerSlam match. Like the opening segment was good for that, I think. What do you guys got?
Well, promo 101. CM Punk went out there and he made it to where he was going to be in a match with somebody. It wasn't, we don't run the guy down. We don't do anything like that. It was hey, I'm going to stack a whole bunch of layers of qualifications on why this guy is somebody. And if you did not notice, CM Punk actually said he will not promise that he's going to win this match.
Which is smart.
A babyface cannot. Classic rules. A babyface cannot say he's going to do something and then not do it.
True. Very true. Looking over at the chat, going back to the Cody John Cena thing, Johnny James saying the small heelish things Cody has been doing as of late are shades of the turn coming. I know he said the other day, no, maybe I will in 3 or 4 years, but there's no reason now. Some of us see the turn coming. Us heel fans are ready for that turn. If so, Cena leaves a hero as a face on the way out come December. Which, makes sense. But I think as evolution showed us, as soon as you think you got it all figured out, as soon as you got the answers, Trips changes the question. Because my predictions were all wrong.
I think there's no universe where Cena doesn't leave a baby face. But I think just because Cena leaves a baby face doesn't necessitate that Cody must be a heel. And there's still a lot of gas left in babyface Cody Rhodes. And laying little seeds here and there is one thing. But people that are expecting a Cody heel turn, I think you're just setting yourself up for the same thing you set yourself up for first go around with Cena, same thing you set yourself up for with Roman Reigns. These guys are going to turn when they feel it's best for them. Cody Rhodes in no universe right now is experiencing anything that necessitates a heel turn.
Fair. No, I mean, when it happens, if it happens, it's going to be huge. The crowd's, I mean, as over as he is, as big as the crowd pops for him, it's going to be huge when and if he does turn. But I'm kind of with you. I don't see the necessity in it right now. Now, to Johnny's point, I mean, there are some signs showing. There are, if you know the seeds to look for, you can sit back and watch and see if they grow. So the signs are there if you're looking for them.
I don't necessarily think that they're signs of a heel turn. I think it's signs of I learned my lesson at WrestleMania and now I'm not going to do the same thing twice. I think it's signs of having another gear that he's going to have to go to do what's necessary to win the match.
Perhaps.
Character growth. Character growth.
Yep, there we go. Character growth. Dean saying sometimes when you're fighting a heel, you got to do some heelish things. Which is fair. And just, anytime I hear something like that, I go back to something my grandmother told me a long time ago. I don't even remember what we were talking about, but she said that when dealing with monsters, it is important that you not become a monster yourself.
Okay. Let's move on with Raw.
Between that and the two things my grandmother told me that will go with me till the day I die are that and do not meddle in the affairs of dragons, for you are crunchy and good with ketchup.
Okay.
So let's get back to Raw. We see Stephanie McCare. Naomi comes out and just talks all kinds of trash to her, which is, have we not figured out yet that that's not a good idea? I mean, Chelsea figured it out. Alba figured it out. Like, have we not figured out that talking trash to Stephanie McCare is not going to turn out well?
Fayfo.
That's probably going to happen. Naomi does her maniacal laugh as she walks away, and I'm loving this Naomi character. I'm not going to lie. I like what they're doing with her character. I think she deserves all the accolades she's getting, and I love that every time she gets the accolades, she turns around and is like, no, y'all didn't like me then, y'all like me now? All y'all, what's her words? All y'all raggedy heifers, hush.
Yep.
I love the Naomi heel. She was, 10 years ago, whenever she was a heel, she was putting out some really good stuff.
Yeah.
And, all in all, it's still in the family. So
we've got Johnny saying, Justy sure does like to swerve us constantly and up to date. You are right, no lie. Up to date, its plans get scrapped and they have to go on the fly to get us. That's why Triple H smiles in the media scrum when he swerves us and says, keep watching, more to come. And Armando Lozada is saying, me too. Armando, welcome to the chat, man. Glad you could be here tonight. So we move on to Sheamus versus Rusev, round 2. I love this because it's two guys fighting who love to fight. That's just, And not only is it two guys that love to fighting, but they have good chemistry together.
Yep.
They make a good fight.
This was a tremendous storytelling from bell to bell. This is how you tell a story in the ring.
Yes.
Yep. And this was number 2. This was number 2, and now they're one apiece. And it's good enough. The story is good enough. Even though we've got 2 nights of SummerSlam, and I believe we only have a total, I think we have 11 matches signed right now. So there's like at least 3 more to go because they usually do 7 and 7 on 2 nights. Sheamus and Rusev 3 shouldn't be on SummerSlam, in my opinion, either night. That's a Raw main event.
Mm-hmm. And one thing I would give both of these guys, and I've made mention of a couple of other matches over the last couple of weeks, and it's something that I love seeing a lot, and that's the reality of it. They look like they're ready to beat the hell out of each other. They keep that realistic feel to their fight, and good on them for it.
But on a SummerSlam, that's a mid-card match on a SummerSlam. On Raw, it could be a main event.
It should.
It should be a main event, absolutely. Rusev and Sheamus, Rusmus. Greatest tag team ever. I love it. I love it. Mary Youngblood asking, when did Rusev come back? It's been a couple months now.
Night after WrestleMania.
Yeah, it was Raw after WrestleMania. That's right. So we get the LWO versus the Creeds versus New Day. Winner of the match gets to take on Judgment Day for the Raw tag team titles. It's about time that they start doing things to highlight the tag team division on Raw, because SmackDown is stealing all the love for that right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it does well to have this set up and actually get to shine the light on the tag team division. It was a good match. Lots of back and forth for everybody. Everybody got to show out a little bit, but El Grande Austriano came out. I refuse to call him El Grande Americano because that's not him. He came out to combat the fact that Dragon Lee came out, and I feel like this was good. You've got a little side story going on outside the ring, and just enough of an interference to piss the Creeds off, which Creeds are already mad because obviously that guy's not Chad Gable. But it's just enough that LWO can get the win. And I have to make a confession here. I'm not above saying when I'm wrong, and I'm going to do that now. During this match, on the watch along, my question was, are the LWO even still a thing? 2 minutes later, they get the number 1 contendership for the tag team titles. So, whoops.
Well, with everything else that they have going on in this match, they needed they need a good babyface team to go up against the heel Judgment Day, so we don't try to make the Judgment Day cool and continue to make it to where they're potentially getting closer to that babyface line.
Yeah, we need to keep them heel.
So who's better to do that? LWO.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a good, solid match. It's going to have a lot of good high spots, and it's
look at the 4 guys involved. Look at the 4 guys involved. You're talking about, that's an aerial assault. Yes. Like, you look at all 4 of them. That match is going to be so fast paced and so high flying that's not a normal match for the WWE tag division. So I'm super excited about it.
Oh, it's going to be a great match, no question about that. Like I said, I had to give the confession and my apologies to the LWO. I'm sorry.
But another thing that this whole segment did was it shows that you don't necessarily have to have a match to progress a story.
Yeah. And so I made a joke about, El Grande Austriano because I'm pretty sure we all know that that's Ludwig Kaiser. So here's my question for you. What happens when Chad Gable comes back? Are we going to get the Spider-Man moment? Are we going to have a mask versus mask match? Who's the real Grande Americano? I'm just saying, you know how much fun you can have with that?
Or
It's
we could
definitely-
put them together and have a tag team.
That's too much caffeine. Can't have them both. That's too much caffeine. They can't even sell that. Jello saying LWO will take the belts at SummerSlam because I've said JD is losing all their belts at SummerSlam. JD is going to lose all their belts.
Judgment Day.
Huh? Oh yeah, Judgment Day is going to lose all. JD McDonough could lose them all. He could set up all the matches and they lose them all. Yeah, Judgment Day is losing all their belts at SummerSlam. We're going to hold you to that, Jello, and see what happens. I just want that Spider-Man moment where they point at each other. One last thing about El Grande Austriano. Did it mess anybody else up hearing German Spanish? Like, as a dude from West Texas that grew up speaking Spanish somewhat, hearing it in a German accent is wrong.
Well, what I want to happen is I want him to speak Spanish to a Spanish speaking person, and then I want the Spanish speaker to speak back in German.
Okay, I'm gonna set the water down because
Yeah,
I'm about to
you need to
spray the
stop.
whole damn
You'll be
place.
spraying stuff on my computer. There's so much fun that can be had with this whole situation, and I just hope they take advantage of it. Because while I do like the seriousness and the reality of a lot of things, every now and then you just need that funny match. And I think this would be a good one. Johnny James says the chemistry Rusev and Sheamus have in the ring is nice. They take their time telling the story in the ring and get people's emotions going. Two that could definitely go hard and main event a match on Raw would get people looking forward to get invested in their feud again. A lot of people wrote them off for saying, they're boring. Very true. That has happened. When it's far from that. Looking forward to watching them moving forward, as am I.
Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? Sheamus and the botch. And I hate using that word, but I'm going to. So he goes up on the rope and he's ready to jump off and then falls back off. He says, okay, let's try this again. Does it again, gets up there, hits the move, and then he's like right in front of the camera, like he plays off his own botch, and everybody loved it.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. And that's that kind of thing, that kind of comfort endears you to a crowd.
Yeah, absolutely.
Janine's asking, are you okay over there?
I'm great.
You just can't get a drink of water to save your life.
Yep. Well, I know.
I'll live.
All right, so Becky Lynch, the man, the women's intercontinental champion, comes out and runs down Houston, which is not a good idea. Don't go to Houston and talk trash about Houston. She calls Lyra Valkyria out because, of course, they have their match at SummerSlam, and says, I want to up the ante a little bit. If you lose this match at SummerSlam, you can never compete for this belt again, ever. And Lyra says, yeah, okay, cool. But here's my stipulation. No countouts, no DQs. There must be a winner. To which Becky says, yeah, okay. Didn't seem real thrilled about it. So, as is expected, they dust up a bit, and I gotta say, having Lyra Valkyria do the manhandle slam on Becky, nice touch. I dig it. Yes, absolutely right, Jello. The bucket full of crazy. My favorite. Right. Like the bucket full of crazy. So Lyra's already out there, and we get Bailey, her tag team partner. And I know what you're thinking. What? Tag team partners, they were beating the hell out of each other last week. Bailey makes a point to say, we didn't get our match at WrestleMania, so we got this. It's all water under the bridge. It's gravy. We good. Lyra is not very trusting of that, understandably so. But they do get their shot at the tag team champions, Roxanne and Raquel, which I lovingly named R&R. It was a good match, and I enjoyed the match. I enjoy seeing Lyra and Roxanne Perez are going to main event a PLE at some point in the future. And if they don't, I don't know what we're doing anymore. They are so good in the ring.
I say that they have really good chemistry. They have worked each other on PLEs before.
I didn't say they're going to work each other on a PLE. I said they're going to main event a PLE sometime in the future. Mark my words. That's going to happen. So the big story here is, of course, that Dominic Mysterio's out there, and I think he's a little scared of Lyra. I'm not going to lie.
I would be.
I think he may have made a poopy in his pants when Lyra came over there. And enough of a distraction that Becky can come out, pull Lyra off the side, mess her up. She's hurt. She's laying down. Bailey's been in the ring with Raquel. She's going for the tag. Nobody's there to tag. Raquel picks her up. Tejano bomb. It's over. 1, 2, 3. It was a good match. However, Dominic Mysterio did take a kick and needed medical assistance. And they called for the medics. Come on, medics. And the medic came out and looked oddly familiar. Turned out to be AJ Styles, who was also the janitor and the valet. And AJ starts doing what he was calling CPR. I don't believe that's what that was. I've taken a couple of classes. It doesn't generally look like that.
AJ Styles knows that he's got less time in front of him than he had behind him.
True.
So he's going to go out there and he's trying to have as much fun as he possibly can.
And I'm here for it.
It's getting some entertaining segments out of the whole deal.
Afterwards, Pierce tells Dom, you're going to do one of two things. You're either going to give me that belt right now and I'm going to find somebody worth wearing it, or you're going to get medically cleared right now. So he goes in there and they're waiting and waiting and waiting. And the doc comes out, says, I do some paperwork and then I'll let you know. To which Pierce and AJ are not happy about. Dom comes out, beats the hell out of AJ, and then says, you know what? I'm cleared. I'll see you at SummerSlam. So we are getting Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles at SummerSlam. I'm excited about it. Going to be a good match. We get Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. I'm a fan of Karrion Kross. I'm a fan of Sami Zayn. What I'm not a fan of is this is the same thing recycled over again. I give you the basic layout, like the basic setup. Sami's hurt. Sami gets in the match. Sami overcomes the obstacles. Karrion Kross gets a pipe, takes out Sami. Match is over. I enjoy the story they're telling between Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn, but we need to take a step in that story, in my opinion. And as also a fan of Karrion Kross, I'm going to ask you, Rick, what do you think about that?
I didn't have a problem with it because we had a break in weeks. And I think it's fairly obvious that they're either going to have a match at SummerSlam or they're going to get to Clash in Paris with the feud. And if Kross is using the pipe, and this is the second or third time he's done it, then that tells me that Sami's going to use the pipe to finish it. And that's generally the way it works when you play with toys. The person who uses the toys the most or initiates the toys is usually the one that ends up falling on that sword eventually. So I didn't really have a problem with it. I like it. I'm glad that the match happened. We don't obviously want clean, definitive finish right now because we're building to something. So I didn't have a problem with it at all.
One thing about Sami Zayn, not only can he overcome the obstacles, not only can he fire up in the times of massive pain, but Sami Zayn, the dad bod king, has proved that he can look all right in a tube top, because that is exactly what his medical tape job turned into. We've got Mary Youngblood saying, I met Sammy when he was still El Generico. I like me some El Generico. Not gonna lie. That takes us to Stephanie Vaquer versus Io Sky. 10 out of 10 would strongly recommend. These two are absolute fire in the ring, and I could watch them all day, every day. I don't know what else to tell you. That match was insanity, and the best kind.
Yes, it was good. You know, you would think we were talking about Breaking Bad as much as we've been talking about chemistry today, but
We don't do that kind of chemistry. The Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast does not condone
silence. I'm talking about the fact that, right now, it seems that everybody pretty much you take Stephanie Vaquer and she is the universal donor for entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's doing big things. She's doing big things. The segments are getting big numbers. Her YouTube shorts are getting good numbers. She's making them money.
I'm going to talk about the other side of that coin, because we all know and love Stephanie Vaquer. No problems there. I agree with you on that. However, it was 2-3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago. We sat right here and the question was asked, where even is Io Sky? Like, she's supposed to be the champion. What's going on here? And then we had her match with Rhea. That was absolute fire, 10 of 10. We had this match with Stephanie Vaquer, absolute fire, 10 of 10. Io Sky is just as much on the way up as Stephanie Vaquer is, in my opinion.
Well, it's good to be a contracted female talent in the WWE at this moment in time.
Women's wrestling is amazing right now. All right, Rick, your turn. What you got?
I sound like a broken record, but I'm really, really happy with what's going on right now. I'm having a hard time trying to find something to shake a stick at. I love the women. I think they're doing great. Everybody's just so good right now in that division.
Across all brands.
Yeah, I love it. I think they're doing really, really good. I'm interested to see what's next for Io Sky specifically. They could do anything with her right now.
And that's the beauty part of it. Not only is she so over and having fire matches, but she's utility. I mean, you can literally put her with anyone. So let's look over at the chat for a minute. Jello saying, has anyone noticed that Stephanie has never had a bad match? That's a good thing. We like that. Johnny James saying 2 of the 4 horsewomen in the mix with Lyra shows they are trusting her to move forward long-term to do well in the business. Absolutely. For them to have Becky and Bayley in the mix to Lyra, I couldn't even tell you how excited she is. Even get that push coming out of NXT. They are building stars for the future. That's long term. Who knows what the future looks like now, but moving forward, Lyra. Let's see how she does moving forward. Not upset with the women's IC title. Here's the thing. I know watching Roxanne Perez and Stephanie Vaquer and Lyra Valkyria and just all of these ladies coming through that the women's division is in good hands for a long, long time. No questions about it.
Yes, I'll agree with that.
That brings us to the OTC. Get your ones up. Painful. I'm telling Roman. OTC is back, and to huge pop came out, and we've already got Paul Heyman and the Killer Bees out there, or the Braun Brawns as they're now called. Thank you, Roman Reigns, for that one. Paul Heyman immediately, I'm not trying to be insulting in any way, to which the crowd let him know, shut up, we don't need you. Like he barely got a chance to talk. It's like, I would never insult you. You are my tribal chief, and we can fix this. See, Seth Rollins is gone now because his leg don't work no more. So why don't you come lead the group? And Roman's like, what? So
You need to put down whatever you're smoking, sir.
he lets Paul Heyman know that you are no longer the wise man. To which we think you're the oracle now. No, he says you're the dumbass. Like he went straight up. What's his name? Red from Red Foreman on his ass. You're a dumbass. And multiple times told him he was a dumbass and said, you didn't build the bloodline. You couldn't build the bloodline. That's God's work. Stealing from Father Padge, you shouldn't do that. But everybody's going off and loving everything about Braun. Braun Breaker walks up a couple times, and I loved it. Roman looks at him and says, I'm only going to tell you one more time. You need to back up. I'm like, okay. Because who else in the entire company is going to say that to Braun Breaker? You know?
I don't want that job.
That ain't me. We go through, we have the whole blow up. We have Braun Breaker telling Roman, I'm the big dog now. I am the one. Which Roman says, I didn't understand a single thing you said. Like, I don't know if your mic's not working or what, but I didn't hear none of that garbage. I'll tell you what, say it again, but use my mic. Throws in the mic and bam, Superman punch. Sucker. And then, the fight ensues, of course. They start getting in on Roman. The music hits. Main event, Jey Uso makes his way down. They clear the ring, and now we've got the OTC Roman Reigns and main event Jey Uso shoulder to shoulder. Oh yeah, he called him Armando Lozado, reminding me he called him Junior, and J-Reb saying Braun Breaker needs to get knocked down a rung or two, and I agree with you. But we get them standing shoulder to shoulder. Now I'm going to go back in the chat to something that was said earlier about Jelly Roll and Randy and Logan and Drew. This is cool because we're getting things spread out outside of the realm of the ring. You had Jelly Roll on the Jimmy Kimmel Show. Brings out Randy Orton, which brings out Drew McIntyre. They fight to the back. Him and Logan get into it. Logan Paul shows up. They get into it. He puts Logan Paul through a table. Like, how many people that are not wrestling fans, people that watch wrestling, saw that and went, hell is going on here? And then I mentioned this last week. You had George Kittle super kick The Miz at a celebrity golf tournament, and it went viral. And now you've got Roman Reigns on TikTok walking on a treadmill saying, I should have seen this coming, blah, 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 all the time. We could do this every week, but Braun Breaker wants to open his mouth and say he's the one. You can't be the one just on Raw. You got to be the one at all the PLEs. You got to do this. This is how I made my living. But you know what? It felt good to be in the ring with Jey Uso. Felt good to be in the ring with my family, shoulder to shoulder, doing family business. So I'm throwing it out there. SummerSlam. If Jey will trust me one more time, we'll do this as family, and we'll go against the Braun Brawns. And Jay, of course, gave an answer, and his answer,
Yeet.
I was going to say, I know this is going to surprise a lot of people. His answer was yeet. But it's moved beyond the ring now. It's out in TikTok, and it's out at Jimmy Kimmel, and it's at this celebrity golf tournament. So everywhere you look, you're seeing something that ties back to WWE, and I think it's genius on Trips' part.
Yep.
As people who promote shows, I want to hear what you two think about that strategy.
Well, hell, if I could figure out how to get more eyes on my product, I damn sure would. And I know Rick is in the same boat with that.
Yep. I love the fact that you can just look in any corner of media right now and you can see WWE.
Yes.
And that's such a powerful tool. Media in itself is just such a powerful tool. And so much of it today is in the hands of the wrestlers themselves. And the fact that there are independent wrestlers out there who never post anything is dumbfounding to me.
I completely agree.
And I am on that same.
Like if you're an independent wrestler and you actually get booked at shows and you're not posting on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X regularly, Snapchat, whatever, if you're not posting regularly, what are you doing?
It's a valid question, a very valid question. J-Reb saying the same with Ron Killings. His online presence is what brings a lot to the ring at some point. His online presence, with his, not even just his wrestling, with his music and with all the things he does, it does bring eyes back to wrestling to see what he's doing. And he is a genius in himself in doing that, saying, here's my music. I'm going to be doing this at wrestling, but here's some more of my music. Just dropping that little hook in the water to bring them over to watch the product.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it. I love every bit of it. I thought Raw was solid. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I am also going to give Raw an A.
I agree.
What you got, Rick?
I thought WWE across the board was an A this week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dude. I mean, even NXT and I'll even include Slammiversary in that. I mean, anything that WWE has touched in the last couple of weeks has been phenomenal.
I couldn't agree more. J-Reb saying, sorry, I've been doing a roach clean out at a restaurant. Chemicals getting me. It happens, man. But we learned, Cameron, I'm going to call you out on carpet here. We learned as teenagers in Sundown, you're not supposed to mess with the roach. That's where the bad stuff is. They're bad, okay? Stop it.
To be Adam G.
Okay, so I'm hoping that the guy is at his computer right now. He's had a few things going on, so he's been kind of hectically moving around. Because it is that time of the show for our everybody's favorite segment. It's time for Notes from the Clown Show. So, you look around a WWE ring at the fans. What do you see? In 316, Eat, OTC, Ben Balor shirts. That's what you see looking around the ring, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
What did we see looking around at Dynamite? Shark fin hats. Because it's Shark Week on Discovery. Not the wrestlers. No. Shark fins. Because it's Shark Week on Discovery. What the hell?
Well, sometimes you got to do some things to appease the people that give you money.
I mean, fair, but still.
And if honestly, and this is just me, and you can take it however you want it. But if somebody were to write me a check for 6 figures
I'm not wearing a shark hat.
and said, I need people in the crowd to wear a shark hat so we can talk about Shark Week, I'm giving them damn hats out everywhere.
And while I understand that, you should not be at a point where you need to say, look, we will put shark hats on all of our people for Shark Week if you give us a check for this much money, please. Clown shit.
Well, put a red nose on me then, okay? Because I'm sorry if Warner Brothers Discovery said
Okay.
I will pay you money to do that, I'm taking it up on it.
No, I agree with you. But not only, let me not leave part of it out. Not only were they wearing shark hats, but the crowd broke out in song, singing Baby Shark. Wrestling event.
They sing it whenever Gunther's music starts too, so don't even.
Roxanne Perez started that. Roxanne Perez started that. But yeah, I found that to be funny. So, Hope is hiring the Hurt Syndicate because he can't do it. So he's going to hire somebody to get the job done. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They get backstage. MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman,
Mm-hmm.
says, why are we helping Colt? And this, of course, gets on Bobby Lashley's nerves. And so the Almighty wants the salt of the earth out of the group. One too many white boys. Sorry, one of the things is not like the other things, and you know it. Think I broke Mike. However, let me talk about Cope for a minute. There's a thing going on here. So Cope's a good guy because he came back and he saved Christian Cage, right?
Ugh.
Cope's a good guy. There's another good guy that got beat up by Wheeler Yuta in Colt Cabana. Could it be? Are we finally going to get it? Are they going to come together? Are they going to be Copacabana? Is it going to happen? I'm so excited. I've been saying this since Cope went to being Cope, that if I don't get Copacabana, I'm going to be pissed. And we're so close.
I'm extremely hopeful that happens for you. I want that for you more than you know. That's amazing. And but here's the thing about the clown show. You've been talking about that for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you that thought just occurred to Tony Khan probably last week. And this is just something that's going to be a quick one and done with no pizzazz or anything, no capitalization, no story, nothing. You've been talking about it for all that time. I guarantee you this is just a moment in the giant fever dream that is AEW.
No, I agree with it. I just want you to know I am going to say good things about AEW if this happens. It may be the only time, but if this happens, I'm going to say good things about AEW. There will be the Copacabana. You wait and watch. And if they don't play the song, it was all for naught. So, remember the last thing. I don't understand some of the booking. I think that's
Some of
Calm
it.
down. Calm down. Give me a minute. We had a game of Ring Around the Clowns on Dynamite this week. MJF gets interrupted by Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe wants to fight. MJF says no. So Mark Briscoe ends up in a match with Claudio Castagnoli. Claudio beats up on Mark Briscoe, And then we get Darby Allin to come out, which causes a distraction. So Mark wins the match. Then John Moxley comes out and beats up Mark Briscoe. Moral of the story, it's a tough night to beat Mark Briscoe. Then he calls out Adam Page, who comes out. So we've had all these people come out, and Moxley wants a match against Hangman Adam Page. And he says, yes, but I'm banning everybody from ringside. What? You just had like half the roster come out for one match, and now you're going to ban everybody from ringside?
Okay, well,
Anybody else confused?
very confused, but here's the deal. Here's the deal with the banning people from ringside. Okay, why would somebody get banned from ringside?
Because the ref says, get out of here.
No. Why would you ban somebody from ringside in a stipulation?
But they can't cause DQs. They can't. It's a one-on-one. It's going to stay a one-on-one.
Okay, why don't they do that every time then?
Because it's not that. How are you going to have a whole segment if you do that all the time? Come on, Mike. You're a promoter. You know better than that.
I just feel like it's a pointless deal with banning people from ringside because things are going to happen regardless of the situation. You just have to figure out how to do it properly.
Look, it broke Rick.
Well, it sounds like a Rick problem, not a me problem.
That was, ladies and gentlemen, Notes from the Clown Show. And this is the part where Rick's going to have to come back because now we're going to talk about Squared Circle Pros Drunk with Power.
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
Drunk with Power this Saturday night, Jake's Back Room. It's going to be a show. So let's run the card just a little bit here.
Before we run the card,
Okay.
if anybody doesn't have anything going on beforehand,
Yes, I was going to let Rick talk about that.
oh, okay,
I'm going to run the card and then we're going to get to the pre-show.
okay.
I have lovingly named it the pregame pre-show because that's what I'm going to be doing. I don't know about y'all. So let's
So you can be drunk with power?
let's go over the card here. First match that I want to talk about: Phoenix, Squared Circle Pro Champion, versus El Gringo Loco, the Squared Circle Pro Champion. So, Rick, got to know.
Yes.
You've got two Squared Circle Pro Champions. What are we doing here?
No, we have one. We have one Squared Circle Pro champion, and we have one person who refuses to relinquish a title that was stripped of him. So here's what's happening. Some legal has taken place, and we have agreed to a title versus title match.
Okay.
We still have not agreed on the referee. And I can tell you that that is still in question as we head into the show. And if that doesn't get settled, I cannot guarantee you that that match will take place. Because TJ Mundell is fighting Lloyd Kionis as a referee all the way. And he has yet to propose a referee that my camp thinks is fit for it. So we'll figure that out as it comes. But the end result, regardless, is either going to be we're going to have a match, and my money is on El Gringo Loco, or we're not going to have a match, and I'm going to force the issue that Phoenix is going to hand over that championship. One way or the other.
So, to play devil's advocate here, respectfully, Lloyd has shown some perhaps lack of judgment in some of his officiating, perhaps leaning one way or the other in a match. So,
And I would propose to you to tell me one referee that hasn't.
I mean, that's fair. Kyle. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, Kyle isn't present at this show.
Okay. No,
It sure as hell isn't going to be Jarrett. It sure as hell isn't going to be Jarrett.
No. Jared is in that same boat. I mean, let me group everything as it should be. I mean, that leaves what, Johnny?
Potentially.
I will say,
We'll find out.
I'm gonna go ahead and throw it out there so that it's understood. 1, 2, 3, not it. I don't want that job.
Well, we'll find out. I'm going to leave Paula in charge of that. Paula and TJ can figure that out. I have bigger fish to fry. So hopefully they'll be able to nail that down.
Okay. Let's look at the next match. We've got the CWO, Carnales World Order, going up against La Migra. Is this for the tag belts?
It is. It's for the West Texas Tag Team Championship, and it's 2 out of 3 falls. Carnales World Order, Los Carnales, whatever you want to call them, they are 2 down against La Migra. As far as I'm concerned, if this match goes into favor of La Migra, Carnales World Order doesn't have a leg to stand on, and this will be their last opportunity. I can also tell you that this will be the opening match of the night.
Okay. So we're starting big. We're going at it big first thing.
That means the first match of the night, you get to call you get to announce your favorite wrestler.
He's watching. Sorry, personal issues with me and Chris.
Everybody has personal issues. Personal issues make money.
They do, in fact. Speaking of personal issues, just had it pointed out to me. At the risk of getting your blood pressure up a little bit, I need to ask a question.
Yeah.
I've been made aware that our guest host from last week, Houston and Reese of the Texan Tag Team podcast, y'all go check that out, had you on their show, and that there's a little bit of heat between you and BCW ring announcer Joel Montoya.
I wouldn't call it heat. I would call it a green with 5 seconds of fame in the business trying to take me down online. And I just put it out there that he's welcome to show up and say that trash to my face. And if he doesn't show up and say that trash to my face, then maybe I'll find a way to come say some trash to his face.
Man, gauntlet dropped. Notice
instead of maybe step to me in public and air your grievance rather than pushing people away to come shake my hand like an obedient rookie.
Damn. Oh, sorry I asked. That's wild. Joel, buddy, it's in your corner now. Our next match, I got questions, man. Nolan Phillips, the self-proclaimed smartest guy in the room.
Self-proclaimed.
Against the ring bully, Stevon Rimson. I can't imagine at any point that this was Nolan's idea.
I think this is where you get the meme of the chick staring off into the void while numbers and equations fly past her face. That's probably Nolan wondering, how the hell am I here?
Well, I'm there with him. How did we get to this match?
Well, I tell you, we got to this match because Nolan Phillips doesn't know when to quit. Nolan Phillips was handed a golden opportunity, and he chose to poke fun. He chose to be a smartass. He chose to play the hero, and he proclaimed himself the smartest guy in the room. I have a problem with that. The ring bully Stevon Rimson has a problem with that. And Nolan has a wrestler's contract. Nolan's managerial contract is over, and Nolan's wrestler contract has been reactivated. And I hope that Nolan is smart enough to figure out a way to get around the freight train that is coming right at him.
Well, just a reminder to everybody from the last show, I believe the proper vernacular, or at least what I'm allowed to say on Twitch, is as there was a celebration, I believe it was Gringo that he decided to punch in the testicles?
Yes, he did. Yeah, he went low and he punched Gringo in the groin, which is fine. I mean, that's, whatever you got to do. He was in a no-win situation. Nolan was the one guy in a ring full of people who have vision and are loyal, and he knew he was done. So he took the only way out he could, which is, fire or flight. And he ended up on the ground in front of me, on the ground like he's supposed to be. We'll see what happens.
Well, it's going to be a wild one, no doubt about that. Our next match, Eluvio versus Baby Samoa, and there is so much animosity built into this match.
The 101 stuff, that's kind of their business. I'm gonna stay out of the 101 stuff. Brian and Samoa don't like each other. Samoa has problems with Eluvio. These guys want to settle their differences. I'll give them the platform to do it. But we'll see what happens. I'm not really invested in that match.
I'm a bit invested in it. I mean, maybe Samoa hit Eluvio with the truck. That was the whole kind of thing. I don't know.
That's just an inventive way of making a point.
It does make a point.
We did talk earlier about Samoans and their vehicles. So
well played.
He is not wrong.
Well played.
Not wrong at all there.
We've got another match, one that I am deeming the battle from the Bronx. We have Gino Rivera versus Bobby Munoz. Puerto Rican pride is
I am
big.
very excited. I am very excited about this match. I haven't spoken to Bobby in quite some time, so it's going to be nice to see him. We need to have a discussion privately or publicly if he chooses, but we need to have a discussion. Gino is super excited to be here, and he always puts on a good show, so I'm super happy to see him. There is no way this match doesn't deliver.
Oh, just saying the names in the match, just making mention of the fact it's Gino Rivera and Bobby Munoz, stellar match from the jump. So I'm looking forward to that one. And then we have Draven Reeves in a gauntlet match for the iPay-per-view title. That's going to be a fun one.
There's a lot of people clamoring to get in that one. I've seen some contracts for people that want to get in. I've actually tossed a couple of them aside because I don't feel that they've earned that right. But yeah, it should be fun. We'll see what happens. There's some people that are looking to make an impact. So I'm sure Draven's up to the challenge.
Well, we will be able to see that Saturday, find out if he is or not. And then we have one more match, one that if you're not there in person, you're not going to get to see. This one will not be on the stream. But we get Hobo Hank going up against Charlie 50. A battle all the way from New Mexico, bringing its way to Jake's back room.
This match was TJ Mundel's doing. TJ reached out to NWA New Mexico and Duke City Championship Wrestling. And yet that he's the general manager. He's the general manager. And I've said, I'll stay out of his way until he does something stupid. We'll find out if this is a smart move or a stupid move. Because Hobo Hank is going to be in the ring with Charlie 50, who has nothing to lose, and there's no rules. And Jake's Back Room is known for chaos and bloodletting, and I have no doubt that this match is going to be just that.
It's going to be a wild one, unsanctioned. And the only way you're going to see that one is if you come to Jake's Back Room this Saturday night. Doors at 5:30, correct? Bell at 6.
Yeah, that's correct. Doors at 5:30, bell at 6. FMX will be live at Jake's from 3:30 to 6 o'clock for a live remote.
I'm glad you bring that up because in all of that, I've heard two words that have perked the ears of everybody everybody I've seen look at them, and that was free beer.
Yes, there will be some ticket giveaways for future SCP events. There will be free beer offered. There's a promotion for free beer. I mean, it's Drunk with Power, so I mean, why not? So that should be a lot of fun. Also, I will let you know, I have made an addition to the production of the show, and at Drunk with Power, we will have the debut of our new play-by-play, Tyler Anderson will be making his debut. I'm moving Chris Williamson to the analyst position. Cromwell Davenport will continue to be the color, but Tyler Anderson will be making his debut on our stream as our lead play-by-play. I think I sent you some of his credentials.
You did, and a very strong resume he has. So, Tyler, welcome. Welcome to Lubbock. We look forward to having you at Squared Circle.
And there is one surprise that I will save for the night of. Matter of fact, I'm not going to tell anybody when it's going to happen. I know when it's going to happen, but I'm not going to tell anybody when it's going to happen. But there is a surprise in set for everybody, so look for that.
All right, so when I had said that, respectfully, I'm just trying not to get involved.
No. Why do you automatically assume that something awful is going to happen to you?
So
Have you done anything to warrant the wrath of the administration?
Well, I mean, I may have talked a little shit about your mouthpiece, but
trust me, she's got a thick skin. She's got a thick skin. She can handle herself.
that's probably going to continue too. Just full disclosure.
Hey, I said very plainly at Tornado Slam, I have no issue with either of the two of you.
Which is appreciated.
And I was very, very upfront when I said that people needed to do their jobs and bad things would happen. So I guess we'll find out if people got a good grade report.
Well, if you want to see what's going on, Jake's Back Room this Saturday night. Squared Circle Pro Drunk with Power is going to be insane. I've said it 100 times. I'll say it again tonight. I have never been to a bad Squared Circle Pro show. Ever.
I've been going for 10 years and I haven't seen a bad Squared Circle Pro show.
So I'm looking forward to this one. Again, doors are at 5:30. First bell's at 6, but you want to get there early because FMX is going to be there. FMX. Going to be there doing a remote and free beer. There's an option for free beer. Like, why are you not showing up? If you're unable to, if you're like my boy J-Reb and you're trying to Texas up California and you can't be there, then heckyeahradio.com will allow you to catch all of it except the Hobo Hank versus Charlie 50 match. It's going to be great. I think that's about it.
We've got, yeah.
Well, I appreciate both of you gentlemen joining me on the show tonight. I appreciate everybody keeping the chat popping. Before we get out of here, give you guys a quick chance to give your final thoughts. We'll start with you, Mike, to the chat, to the wrestling world in general. The floor is yours.
I'm going to go ahead and talk about some things. We briefly mentioned it earlier, but
Here's the deal. If you are a talent in this business or a personality in this business, you are an independent contractor.
Mhm.
You are in the business of selling your brand,
Self-promotion.
self-promotion. Exactly. If you are not promoting yourself, you are not doing yourself any favors. I recently saw a video from Matt Cardona, the guy that's considered the king of the independents right now.
Who got some interesting permissions.
And he says if you aren't out there figuring out how to promote your brand and get yourself to where you want more people to come watch the show that you're on, then you're in the wrong business.
Mhm.
So I'm going to go ahead and reiterate that. You are in the business of you. Do what you need to do to get as many eyes on you and your live progress.
Before we go to Rick for his, do want to take a chance to say, go to all the socials, click on all the things. Thank you very much. Rick, to all the men, the women, the boys, the girls, all the children at home, what do you got to say?
Indie wrestling is my passion, and SCP is my child. And we are in a process of evolution and growth at the moment, and Drunk with Power is going to be a phenomenal event. If you like chaos, this is probably the show for you. If you like a little roasting, I will have a live mic.
Uh-oh.
And if you enjoy just cutting loose and having a good time, you might want to come check this out. Free beer for a little bit. And yeah, I have a feeling that when Drunk with Power is over, SCP will have taken yet another direction in the new era. And maybe the LZ administration has an... I'll wait for the show. Wait for the show.
Every damn time. Well, I'll say this. I love independent wrestling. I think everybody that's watching knows that. And I feel like if you've never been to a show, it's time. If you're around here, absolutely need to be at Squared Circle Pro, Drunk with Power, Saturday night at Jake's Backroom. If you're not from around here, though, I guarantee you there's within 50 miles of you some independent wrestling. Go support it. Go watch it, because I guarantee you it's like nothing you've ever seen before. It's my drug. It will be yours too. We will be back here tomorrow night for SmackDown on Discord. If you're not a part of the Discord, go find the link for it on any of our socials in the About section and join up, because we're going to be watching SmackDown Live. I want you to be a part of it. Thank you to everybody in the chat for giving us this platform to talk to you guys about wrestling. I love it so much. I love all of you. Until tomorrow night, I'm Guapo. That's Mike Caldwell. That's Rick Elzy. We're not your average marks. See everybody tomorrow night. Yeah.